said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start the show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. On Monday nights, sure we know what to do and what to say, because we love our mamas, and that's the fact, Jack. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game.
And good evening, everyone. Good evening, Miss Elizabeth. How are you? I don't hear you. You're muted. There
I'm
you go.
good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I did a stream and we didn't have any problems with Rumble Studio, and it's acting up. So we are live on Southern Fried podcast, but the SF podcasting once again is acting up. I know not why. Everything was fine the last time. So on the good side, that's on the bad side. On the good side, I do know, and I have checked, we are streaming live on Pickaxe right now. So hello, Kenneth. How you doing, buddy? Michael, everybody else that's coming in, Miss Jen.
I know. Hey, everybody.
But we are streaming live on Pickaxe. Folks, the Pickaxe referral code for the Southern Fried is in the chats. Please follow that. If you'll go to Pickaxe and if you have your account, if you've done your referral, we've got 14 followers and about 6 referrals so far. And if you look, it's a great looking platform. When we go live on Rumble, it shoots over to Pickaxe. So doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And it looks good. We're gaining some new friends over there, even as we speak. Somebody actually kind of forwarded, I think, the Mama Said show out. So if you're watching from Pickaxe, we appreciate you.
We do. Thank you very much.
That's something very new for us. So that's a dual. One, you got them both. So that's pretty cool. As for what's happened in studio, I don't know. It'll be okay. We are out there live in the Rumble land. We just usually run 2 channels, and we'll have to figure that out. I think with all this integration going on, there's just a lot of stuff they're trying to get figured out. So I tried to reset it. It wouldn't go. So I may delete it, go back in and try it one more time. But anyway, Instagram is up. All the little doggies are in a row. We are. I was hoping to stream live to all these other ones out of Rumble Studio, and right now they're probably got a blank screen because Studio's acting up. So I'll probably just delete that studio, come back in, and hope that it gets going. I talked to Robert just a few minutes ago. He won't be here tonight. I honestly didn't expect him. I knew they'd be tired. I'll let him tell you about his trip. He did have a great trip. However, there is always a however when Robert goes to the beach. And I'll let him explain that on Wednesday morning. So I guess that's the next time we'll see us together.
Yeah.
So I'll let him tell his beach story. It sounds like one of those 50 movies, Rob's Beach Story or something. So I have not heard from him. That's the first I've heard of him.
I haven't heard from him either.
Since he left, since he said he wouldn't be on front porch. So anyway, I'm walking around like a 90-year-old man today. I did something to my heel, my Achilles heel. You're old. You don't even have to know. I mean, people say, "What'd you do?" I don't know.
You can sleep wrong.
So I've been walking around.
Like a 90-year-old.
I had all these plans. I got home. No, I come home and propped up my foot. I'm gonna give it medication and all that, and try to get it better. But it was just like, are you kidding me? Like I can't believe it. Like I've had this happen before, and I never know what causes it. It's just one of those deals that happens. So
it's not a burnt bone spur, is it?
No, I pretty much know that it comes down to two things, and they're not fun to say, but I mean it's just life. We're really hard on our bodies throughout our life. So I've got it. Cool, Michael. Give us your opinion of how it looks on there. It looked good to me. I turned the sound down because I can't handle 5 streams coming into my headphones together, so I have to kill the sound and everything but StreamYard. But it comes down to 2 things. One, I think I'm a little bit clumsy. Sometimes when I go to stepping, I feel like I'm still, 25 or 35, 45, 55, something. I don't know. And I'm fat. So between all the extra weight and I don't watch where I'm stepping sometimes. I think that's the reason. I really do. I think that is actually the reason why. So I don't know. We'll just have to.
I get it, honey. I get it. Look, I can trip over air. I mean,
that's pretty bad.
I can get choked on air.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I guess y'all all heard all the farming a while ago. I don't know if y'all.
That sounds good. I was as the music was playing, I seen where you came in, and I was like, I heard something else, and I was like, ducks. I heard ducks.
That's why. You probably heard the goats.
I probably did. It was a little muffled because I was hearing it over the music. Or kind of, it was like a layered album.
Yeah.
It was like an album that where they layer the music, and you had the music, then you have the ducks and whatever else was out there, kind of flowing through there with it. Because I thought, what's that flat sound that's coming out? It's them ducks. I thought that song sounds funny.
Well, it's feeding time, and my son-in-law and daughter are down here, and so. When I pulled up, they thought I was them here to feed them. Oh, were they? I'm sorry. My daughter is correcting me. She said they were already walking down and they saw them.
Oh.
And so they knew they were fixing to get fed.
Nice. Hello, Brother Cook.
Hey.
How are you, brother? Brother man. I'm really Cook's going to come on a new. We got this new pet show coming up.
I know.
And
we still don't have a name for it, do we?
We got a name. We've got a name.
Dang.
I think we've got a name. I ran it by Jen. She thought it was great. So we'll see. Southern Paws and Claws.
Oh, I love it.
With a tagline, from the furry front porch.
I love it.
So it was cool. So I've got this picture of some cats and dogs on the front porch. I'm gonna use that as the background. I've even got a song up. I'm ready for it. So really ready to go live. It's going to happen this week. It is
I
absolutely
love
going to
it.
happen this week.
What day?
So, well, I'm trying to determine that probably, probably, if I had to guess tomorrow night, it'll either be Tuesday or Thursday.
Okay.
And it will, because we would broadcast one show on Thursday. Now, me and Dean do the racing show sometimes on Tuesday, but that's not going to be tomorrow. So I've got another new show that we finally got. We've rescheduled this thing like 5 times with me and James from the Empty Pockets podcast. It's an American First series. It's going to go out to everybody at first, but then we're going to, let's see, you're having trouble. Yeah, you're having trouble. That's right. Studio. So they're letting me know that they're having trouble. I don't need them to tell me that. I know that. But anyway, it's America First series, and he's the first guest, so he's a patron. He's a good guy. It's a show about how did your patriotism develop, and what do you feel about today, and what does America First mean to you? So it's scheduled to be hour interviews with me and James. I'll probably go over that, but if I had to guess,
He's
so
a
it's one
talker.
thing I have scheduled to, but he's a talker. He's like me. And he always has lots to share, and so it will be a great interview because he will be active in that interview. And you don't have to pull things out of James. James will tell you exactly how he feels about an issue, and I'm just going to turn him loose and let him go when we talk about those things. So that's the only show I've really got technically scheduled for tomorrow. So I would think tomorrow night, as long as everything goes okay. And so I probably, if me and him can get our show in at 6, then I think probably 8 o'clock, 8 bells. So y'all come along, give me a whole lot of support, and come up on screen, because y'all are more pet experts than I am. So we just want to make sure it's good. I've got a lot of stuff that we do have a pet, so we do have a dog, but there's inquiring minds want to know. There's a lot of questions about the care of a pet, but I want to dive into a little deeper too. I want to talk about how your pets communicate with you and the different ways. So we'll look at little stories like that each week. I'm gonna try to do it every week. And so I think it'll be a big hit, and excited about that. We are attempting right now. Cross your fingers, your toes, and everything. And I'm glad you didn't. Well, maybe. I think we got studio up. Yay. I don't know what happened, but it's up. So there's that show and the American First series. And there's still, believe it or not, there's still 2 other shows. That they may not be every week. Well, one of them will be, but the other one probably monthly. It is the music talk show. I'm talking about music. I love music, all kinds of music, and so I want to talk about music, history of music. By the way, I lost a well-known singer yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Actually, I don't think it was today. I think it was yesterday from one of the bands. So a lot of these people I grew up with are getting old. Unfortunately, we're losing them. Who was that? Ray Davies, I think it was. We lost. So I think I'm not sure if it was cancer or what it was. I've got to look into that. I just saw the headline. Hello, Barry. Hello, everybody that's coming in. We appreciate you so very much. I do have a little bit of a kind of a sort of a topic tonight we'll get to in a minute. But I just want to give a chance because we kind of catching up a little bit from the weekend, and just give some updates. And then the other show is a history show, which Barry will be he's going to be my expert in the chat. Barry's going to be the expert in the chat on all the history. I used to know, well, I still know him. And there was a guy, a preacher friend of mine, and he had this radio show. And the radio show was live. So it's not like you have time to prep. You don't know what they're going to ask. So he would say, call me up with any question you have, and we'll answer your question live on the air. So So what would happen is he
That's
had a
brave.
he had a team of people in the studio. Like I think at least 10 people in the studio. And when the question came in, they would begin to, he knew a lot of it, but they would go ahead and look up all the scriptures and get the points and everything down. And he would talk to the person while they're getting all this information together. Then they would slide that to him and he would answer the question. And he said they were really successful. He said if they only missed on maybe one the whole time. But that's a hard show to do when you say, call us with any question. We'll answer it right here live on the air.
Wow.
My son just walked in.
That's yeah, I don't think I would be that brave. Even with 10, 20 people in the studio working with me.
Well, that could be nerve-wracking for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But and then we have you, with the animals and stuff, and Jen and Barry, all these people that y'all know a whole lot more than me. I just feel like I'm the host, and I'm just going to bring information. I do want to cover, even though they're sad. I mean, we got to expose these people that abuse animals. I want to share some of those stories along the way too.
Hey, I want to know if you found out any more about that man and your neighbor's dog.
I haven't heard any more yet. I will find out though. I did not get to talk to anybody, and but I and my granddaughter was sort of keeping me updated on it. We know who the guy is, like they know who the guy is, but I don't know if she's done anything with that. I know it was a confrontation, and I need to ask my granddaughter how the dog is doing. I heard the dog barking earlier, so I know he was barking at me as I came to the back to the studio, but I haven't seen the dog. So you know if her dog's doing any better? You don't know. So sometimes he gets info. He's become my info man. He talks to all the neighbors more than I do. I'm too busy, so he gets the scuttle. What's the scuttle?
I went out there and beat him with that stick.
Do what? Oh, he don't even know about it, so I'll have to fill you in. So you're behind, man.
Stuck in the eye or something?
Yeah, he took a stick and stuck it right in its eye.
So one of the neighbors done it.
Yeah, a neighbor down the road. I don't know where that guy lives, but
she said it was this guy over here, Doyle, that he done it.
Oh, well, we know where he's at and where he lives. So.
That's what she said.
Somebody needs to take some sticks down there and beat him.
So, information coming. But I want to cover stuff like that, and animal laws, they vary from place to place.
They do.
Noise laws for animals, leash laws for animals. I mean, I think that's kind of standard. Some counties don't allow certain breeds of dogs into their county or city.
I know.
And I think it would be interesting to cover some of those things from where people are to what the rules are where they live. Who do they recommend as a good vet? It's important to have a good vet.
Yes, it is.
A good kennel, if you want to recommend a kennel or somebody that's been good. Some people put their dogs up. Good. On that subject of animals, I took care of Steve and Alive the other night. What was that? What was he in? Wednesdays? Was it Wednesdays when he gave the $5 to Chuck? But he sent it to us. He sent it to the podcast. Seems like that was Wednesday.
I think it was.
So he just had heard about it. He didn't know we had that challenge going on.
Yeah.
So we I sent that. I donated today to them through their website. And the only thing I don't like about their website, I'm gonna have to give them a little critique. And I need to talk to him about it, is when you give through PayPal, which it works great. Not a thing wrong with it. But there's not a place that I seen to leave the promo code. So what I did is I emailed them and I said, another donation for Chuck the cat, promo code Chuck. God bless everybody. And from Dave. And they said what was that at? Let me see if I can find that real quick, because it's cute what they put. They're really digging this, about the Hold on, man. I got so many screens opened up. I get too many opened up, really. I may have to do it on my phone, but I wanted to tell you what they said. Let me look and see if I can find that because they had a funny response about it, and I know Barry has contacted him. I think Rob has contacted him about this, so I don't think I deleted it. But it worked very quickly, and they just are digging this. So I sent this today, and they they emailed me back after because what I sent them was I said another donation for Chuck the cat using promo code Chuck was just made. Blessings all day. So then they sent this back. Yay! Thank you! Exclamation mark. Two of them. Love that Chuck. This cat will live the rest of his days in that bedroom.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So I do have a question. Did Rob get to use his slurp gun?
He did use the slurp gun. No success.
I'm
I,
kind
I,
of, oh shoot!
oh,
Hold
she
on.
went to the dark side. You're fixing to hear the heavy breathing. Luke, I am your father.
I'm kind of glad.
Well,
I'm glad.
no fish were harmed in the making of that. There is something I'll let him share. What I want to say, and y'all pray for him. I mean, God bless him. He had episode in the water.
Oh,
So
I
not
have been
good.
afraid of that. I have been so afraid that he was going to do that.
And a couple things happened. So he's okay. He's okay, but I don't think he got to use the slurp gun as much as he wanted because of that.
Was
You know,
someone with him?
there was someone with him, and it's a good thing.
Good.
It's a good thing. So I'll let him tell the damaging part of it. It wasn't to him. Well, maybe to his pride, but he had some pretty amazing stories. He'll share that about things he saw in the water and video he took and all that. So he'll talk about that. I think they had great weather. They had only been back a little while when I talked to him. He said, "I'm washing clothes and going to bed." So um, someone will creep
No,
up on
Michael,
you.
they won't.
Oh,
They
so
won't.
yes, Michael. Some cities, yeah, they do. Well, horses. Well, some communities just don't like it.
Well, you know what? It's if people are out riding those horses, you know, and those loud cars go by, that's
Yeah,
a danger to the people riding those horses because that's a good way for somebody to get thrown off that horse, cause somebody get paralyzed, take someone's life. So I can understand that ordinance.
yes. And so
Where
as
are
cars, as they started, I mean, everybody got into it. I mean, and you just can't sleep. I mean, people are scaring the
we?
animals. They're waking people up. They should wait till they get out the highway, but they won't do it. They just blast through these neighborhoods, music blaring. Putting it in neutral and revving up the engine and all this
Mhm.
stuff. And I know some people had to work on their car. I get that. But morons, listen to me. You don't have to work on your car at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's your race car and revving it loud and waking all your neighbors up. You're a jackleg. You
Yes, they are.
absolutely would be the first person to probably complain about that if it was being
Mhm.
done to you, but yet you terrorize your neighborhood like that.
Mhm.
Just revving it, hollering, screaming. They act like their voices and the sounds only carried to the boundary of their yard, you know. And I
Yes,
live in a community where the houses are fairly close together.
I'm the type of person that would first call the law and hold on, Barry, and I'll answer your question. And then if that don't help, next thing I do is I'd steal the car battery.
Well,
They'd have
that
to replace it. And then if
does
they keep doing it, I'd steal it again.
That would solve it.
Every time they put a new one in, it's gonna come up missing till they get the hint. And then once they got the hint, I'd take them back over. All of them that I took.
There was one year, and I'm a very lenient guy about stuff. I try because as I got older, I remember what it's like to be young and you do things. It was the 4th of July around. I don't think it was even on the 4th. I think it was close. And me and my wife, we both had to work the next day. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and they're blasting. It's my neighbor, and they're back there drinking beer, and they're blasting off uh, rockets, heavy mortars. The heavy duty stuff where it sounds like you're in the middle of Kiev, and Russia's pounding the city. I mean, I was like, we couldn't sleep, and I was like, God, I hate to do it, but I've got to go. I got to go down there. I just got to. And so I went down there, and I said, "Hey guys, listen." As I'm walking, I'm so tired. I said, "I am not a jerk, and I want you guys to have fun. I've had a lot of fun here over the years." But I said, me and my wife can't sleep. We've got to get up. We got to be out of the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I said, it's way past midnight. And I just don't appreciate it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I'd appreciate it if y'all maybe just save the rest of these for tomorrow night. Blast them away when it turns night tomorrow. And he apologized and they did. But
I know I saw that.
that's a great comment. That's like a great
Don't
Barry. That might be the greatest comment that you've ever
No.
put in any of our shows. It sounds like something. He's been hanging around Steve. Him
I
and Jim.
know.
They're like regulars on Steve's show. Now I watched a lot of his show today that I missed on Sunday, and they're like just crushing the chat. So they're like the groupies for Steve, which I love. It's great. But hanging around Steve is he's sharper now. I don't know what it is, but if
I
you've
know.
noticed, he's a little more direct with his comments now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steve's having an effect on him. I don't know if it's affected Jen yet or not, but I love it. I think it's funny because that is exactly the kind of comment I would expect from Steve.
I know. Barry, you asked if there was any riding trails. Um, People ride on the side of the road, but there are places. I mean, Fort Mountain's basically in the backyard. Grassy Mountain. I mean, there's all kinds of places that people can ride here. People don't usually load up their horses and go places to ride. They ride on the side of the road. I mean, that's how far we just in the country, and people are cautious when they see horses and people riding. If there's nobody coming in the other lane, we move over, and we're just respectful. We don't zoom past. We slow down. Um, we're respectful.
Amen. That's the way to be. So yeah, it's important to have a good place to ride anything. Um, Still tragic. Those people got killed on the ATV. The mom and dad and all the kids were left. Some of them injured over in Alabama. Well, that's where they were riding at. They're not from there, but yeah, you got to be careful. You got to have a good place to ride. Watch for people.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to Fort Benning, you actually have to watch for tanks crossing the road.
Oh, that don't surprise me.
If
Well,
they're
no,
doing maneuvers there on the base or training or whatever, they actually have signs that say, look out, tanks crossing road.
well, I
I'm
mean,
going to tell you
look out for
if a
traffic.
tank, well, yeah, if a tank wants to cross the road, I'm giving way. I'm not going to cut the tank off.
Winding up the phone to make a call. I don't. Sometimes we just use cans with strings.
Yeah, tractors cross roads. Big. Some of these tractors are big as tanks.
They are.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
messing with them either.
Me either, honey.
Come right, come
You
right
go
on through.
right ahead, honey. I can wait. I'm not in no hurry. Mm-mm. I'm not.
Uh, but yeah, I want to get all these great voices together, and when you can, and join for the pets. I think I do have a couple of questions that I'm going to put out there tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure it'll be tomorrow night. Get your opinions on them, and we'll see where everybody stands on some things that some people believe in, some don't.
Yeah.
So, and it's mainly targeting dogs and cats, but we'll talk about anything. In fact, the song has different things in there. We'll talk rabbits, we'll talk ducks, we'll talk whatever. But my knowledge would be about chickens and mostly. I mean, I was around chickens quite a bit as a young person. Dogs, cats. I ran a rabbits a little bit, horses a little bit. Horses are
My
interesting to talk
my son
about.
and daughter-in-law. Well, before they got married, my son-in-law had a pet rabbit. He was huge, but they still and they my daughter has a pet rabbit now.
Yeah, there would be a lot of. There's nothing there. I mean, that's a lot of woods.
Eton. Hmm.
Yeah, well, there's a
Growing.
few carpet mills or something. I think.
No, Eton's growing. They got
Oh, is
restaurants.
it?
Hmm.
I haven't
They
been
got a
down that
Jack.
way.
They got a Jack's now.
Oh, wow,
They got
cool.
hey,
Well, Lafayette's kind of building up here. I'm shocked.
Varnell.
Yeah.
They got a Wendy's. They
Oh
got
my
a
goodness.
brand new Taco Bell just opened up. Got a McDonald's. They got the food line. I mean, honey, they getting high up in society now.
That's cool. I did not know that.
I mean, Taco Bell just opened.
Eton is a big city like Varnell.
I am telling you, they got a great little Mexican restaurant in Eton. I like it. Los McGahee's. Mm-hmm.
Well, all these areas are building up. But hey, jobs are available because they
They are.
just took out 500 and something South Koreans. Well, about 300 of them was South Korea. Uh, Hyundai is needing some workers. If you, I think it may
Oh.
be construction jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hit more businesses. So those businesses that are not following the law, they're going to be needing some more workers.
That's good. That's good.
Flea market.
Oh, they don't have no flea market in Eton anymore.
I
You
bet
might
they
have
still
figured
got
out.
that little one up there at Penville.
Mm-mm.
It's gone.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Well, now you talking about right above Eton, where the red barns used to be, or where the red barns are.
I don't know about Eton, but there was one there right before you get to Somerville or Tryon. Used to be trade days and all that there.
Oh, I don't know. Now trade days might still be there,
Okay.
but now, yeah, there, there used to be there's still that big one over on Cleveland Highway between Varnell and where I can't think of the name of the place is
Jen
between
says it's still there.
Varnell and like going south on Cleveland Highway,
Yeah.
Big D Flea Market.
Big D.
Mm-hmm. That's still there.
I truly haven't been to a flea market in a long time.
Yeah, it's still there.
Years. Wow. I can't say that. It's been probably 20 for me. It's just not an area I go to very often, to be
I go
honest.
all the time because that's part of home.
Well, yeah. I don't remember why I was there. I think we were in a meeting over in Alabama and we came back. I said, let's just take some back roads. I didn't want to drive all the way through Alabama up and then come around. So I said, let's just take some back roads. And so I took roads I never even been on.
Well,
And
now,
somehow I popped out at Eton.
well, I know how because Eton's probably one of the furthest spots you can get from Alabama.
Well, I got turned around. I got I got on roads I didn't even know where I was going. I just kept driving.
All roads intersect somewhere.
That's it.
Somewhere. Oh, Barry, Atlanta's horrible. I still got stuff down there in my old place. I got to go get some, put it on the market. I've just been procrastinating.
Oh, well, we all do that. Some procrastinate.
Well, procrastination and a few other things.
Progress.
I just hadn't been. I got to get it done this month though,
Yeah.
because I got to get it cleaned out, and got to get it on the market.
Has anybody been sick where you're at? I know a lot of people have been sick up here.
Yes, my mother-in-law has had COVID.
Yeah.
And she wasn't able to eat for like 3 days.
I went and got my glasses fixed. Had something broke on it, and they fixed it up. And the girl said, which I know her. She said, "I'd give you a hug, but I've been sick." I said, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yes.
The next day, she found out she had COVID.
Oh no.
That was days ago, and I've been fine.
Well, now, like Monday, not today, but last week, Monday and Tuesday, she had my grandbabies.
Uh,
And yeah, so she had it last week. And so she my daughter kept the kids home from church Wednesday night. She kept them from home from school last Thursday, and she called my niece, that's a nurse practitioner, and she said it can take up to 2 weeks for the incubation period.
really? Wow.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, some churches have canceled services. I don't think the schools have been greatly impacted,
Hmm.
but there have been people out, sick.
I think there's a stomach bug going around too, a virus. You
My
know.
granddaughter had that. She didn't go to.
Mhm.
Yeah, they get into school and they pass around all that stuff. It. Good
Mhm.
grief. Oh, and by the way, y'all pray for Miss Rita. Who's planned to be back with us. She fell.
Yeah. Oh no, is she
She
okay?
fell and was in the hospital. Went to hospital, I guess. She's broke her arm in like two places. She's hurt her wrist. She's hurt her leg. I sent her a. She actually friended me on Facebook because I had commented on her post, and I followed her on TikTok. She does a lot of TikToks, which is cool. We kind of
Hmm.
trade off, but my our intention is for her to be on here with us,
Yeah.
and she got hurt, and oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can. I do it on that. I have Roku in the studio and in the house, and yes, you can pull up your rumbles there. In fact, I'll run sometimes the programs in the studio and just let them run. But yeah, she fell. She said it was a freak accident. I've had that. I'm kind of a freak, but I don't know if she's posted an update or not. But y'all pray for her. She was asking for prayers. She
What?
she fell hard. I want to say that properly if I can get it to pull up. But I think it was yesterday, and so falling is never good for us folks
No.
who have been around for a little bit. It is
No.
never good. Let's see here. This was 18 hours ago, but the radiologist and all they read my X-rays. I actually have 2 broken places in my arm, and my ankle also has a fracture.
Oh,
So when she first fell, or she said I need prayers. I had a freak accident. She said I broke my elbow, sprained my wrist, and my leg below the knee is in a boot because it's also messed up. She was hurting so bad she couldn't sleep, so she went to orthopedic the next day. They let her know what else she had. So
mm,
um, she, y'all pray for her. So she's recuperating, as we say. So that'll cause you not to be able to work, you know,
yes.
and because that's always stinks too. You can't work, you get behind on things, and it's it's just not a good thing. I was wondering if y'all had heard about this. There was Have y'all heard about the news about? I've never heard of this thing, but in 32 states, and as I'm watching Elizabeth knock these bugs away,
I
there's
know.
there's a deadly kissing bug parasite, uh, and I saw this pop up today. You might not even know you have it. It says this article in the New York Post says a kiss might steal your heart, but this one could stop it. Health experts are warning about a deadly parasite infection spread by so-called kissing bugs, which have been found in 32 states across the country. At least 8 Americans have caught the disease through local transmission, leading scientists to urge the CDC and WHO to officially declare the life-threatening illness epidemic in America. So here we go. They're going to be wanting you to, where that's going to go if they get that. This is a disease that has been been neglected and has been impacting Latin Americans for many decades. But it's also here in the United States. They are small, black and brown insects called triatomans that feed on the blood of people, pets, and wild animals, according to the Texas A&M Kissing Bug Program. Kissing bugs, I see the pests earn their name because they tend to bite people, my God, on the face. You feel good. Especially around the mouth and eyes. You be careful out there, Miss Elizabeth.
I just rolled up my windows.
Kissing bugs are common in 21 states, including Mexico and parts of Central and South America, where they're considered endemic, meaning they're always present. We are in Georgia. The whole southeastern United States, including Florida, is in the darkest color. Well, no, it's the next to darkest color. And that means we have reported cases. There is one state that has human cases. So we have animal cases in Georgia right now. No human. All except Louisiana, they have reported them, some of them. But anyway, y'all be careful. That's bad. The pests usually infect people. See, there's also.
Hey, Dean.
Hello, Dean. There is also another. Well, actually, I guess this feeds right in the same thing. There's a deadly infection caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, which lives in the gut of about 55% of the kissing bugs. So about 55% of the bugs have this parasite, and those pests usually infect people via the poop they leave behind near a bite wound. But it can also be spread via organ donations, blood transfusions, or mothers who passed on their babies during pregnancy. Worldwide, more than 7 million people are estimated to carry the parasite, causing over 10,000 deaths each year. The American Heart Association estimates that around 300,000 people have the disease, while most cases have been in the South, these bloodsuckers are steadily creeping north. It unfolds in two ways. First of all, the acute phase in the weeks or months after the infection. Most people show no symptoms. If symptoms do appear, they may include fever, fatigue, body aches, headache, rash, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, and eyelid swelling. The real danger comes later in the chronic phase, which can last years or even a lifetime. Oh, this is just great news. Again, most remain symptom free, but some develop serious health problems. 1 to 3 decades after infection, we could be carrying this killer right now. Up to a third suffer heart issues, while about 1 in 10 face digestive problems like an enlarged esophagus or colon. Over time, damage to the nervous system and muscles in the heart and gut can cause life-threatening complications, arrhythmias, heart failure, and even sudden death. Is it treatable? Yes, but timing is everything.
Well, of course it is. Wait a minute. I want to go back to something Barry said up here in his comments. Barry, you said that you've had all your COVID shots. I don't believe in vaccines that much, but my diabetes and my medical conditions require it. So I want to say something to you, Barry. I hope I don't offend you. If I do, I apologize ahead of time. I have a compromised immune system because I have Crohn's disease. I don't get vaccines. Mm-mm. I refuse to get them. I don't get COVID shots. I don't do flu shots. I don't do pneumonia shots. I don't do any of that. Because a lot a lot of those have not been studied, especially the COVID shots. They've not been studied, and because nobody knows the long term effects of what those shots can do to your body, and so I've seen what the side effects can do to family members, and so I refuse to get them. And when I get the flu shot, I always end up getting the flu, A and B, together. Um, so I refuse to get the flu vaccine anymore. And so don't let doctors pressure you into thinking just because you have diabetes and you have other conditions that you are required to get those. You are not. Trust me, you are not. All I have to do is say thanks, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my doctors. Thanks, but I'm not getting it. And they leave me alone about it. It's my body, it's my choice, and that they respect that. My niece, that's the nurse practitioner, they required her to get that when COVID shots first started coming out, and now she has heart issues that she didn't have, and she's one of those long haulers that still has issues with her heart now,
Wow.
all because of the COVID shot. And she's told them she will not ever take it again. If it means not working in a hospital or not doing certain things with patients, then she won't do it. But she will not ever get the COVID vaccine again. They required her to get like 4 or 5 shots of the COVID over the duration. And she has heart issues now. And it
Wow.
causes her major issues.
Yeah, it's in Florida, they just said they're not going to, mandate any vaccines anymore. There's a lot of
Hmm.
people are talking about that. So,
You're right,
just
Watchman. Watchman corrected me. The COVID shot is not a vaccine. It's an mRNA gene therapy that rewrites your RNA to your DNA. It's a poison basically.
Well, they set it loose in your body, and then there's all kinds of bad things can happen as it's released and changing things. And you know, many believe the initial damage from COVID was bad, but the long term is this will cause a
Mhm.
lot of damage on a
Yeah.
scale we ain't seen nothing yet, as they say.
My uncle, he was in the hospital. This was after COVID. He was in the hospital, had to go to rehab. He was in rehab less than a week, died, and they said it was COVID. Less than a week,
Wow.
and he was dead.
Well, I don't know what the numbers bear out, but there's been, a lot of people have died due to strokes, which it makes me think because my wife's had two,
Mhm.
and I know some other people who have, and it's a little scary, what's going on right now.
I know.
A little scary.
Oh Lord,
Hey,
I probably
there's
got a strike. I'm so
it's
sorry.
no, it's okay. If they do it, they do it. Miss Jen says, all right, so you can get it. Yeah, I really got mad how they canceled everybody's job, forced people out. All
Mhm.
these people need to be they need to be given a lot of money. I know people that had to
They
leave the
do.
health. They were fired by insurance companies, hospitals, and they just said you're done, and they terminated them.
Mhm.
Uh,
And that
you know,
wasn't right.
no, I know a pastor in the region. His wife lost her job with a major. I won't say the name, but a major insurance carrier. They said take it or else, and they termed her.
Well, that's what they did to my niece. You have to take it or you don't have a job. She had to have a job.
Yeah,
She had 3 kids at home, and so
I'm a big believer. Like my whole stance on this the whole time, and when we got struck that week, I said this. So if I get struck, I don't care. I don't try to. I try to give people the best information, but what they do, that's called freedom.
mhm.
I don't try to tell people what to do. If I ask for my opinion, I'll give my opinion. What they do with it is what they do with it, and I'm not gonna bash people who did or didn't take the shot. I just am not gonna do that.
No. Mm-mm.
But there are people that do that. I don't do that. Some people, uh, you know, because our country is really divided on all this. Uh, and when it, but the problems, is, and when the problem I have is people say trust the science, trust the people who have studied all these years and all that. The problem is you get these Dr. Frankensteins,
Yes,
and they're willing to go there. Many of them for research. They don't care. It's like a live study in humans.
it
Then
is.
you've got the profiteering, bloodthirsty, the profiteers at
Mhm.
these companies. We'll not say the names because they'll sue us. Uh, they're just out for the money. I mean, that's their whole. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's a business. Bottom line, they took our tax dollars and paid for everybody to get these things. They just throwed money around for 3 years, massive amounts of money, forced people to take them. And here's the worst part of it all, outside of the people getting sick or dying or whatever. If that, and I don't know what that data is. As I sit here, we say a lot. I don't know what the data is. I'm just saying I don't know. When they gave those out, those that, and I don't know if every version didn't have it, but some of them didn't even have any write-ups on the packaging. Like you always
Yeah.
get the little informational about
Mhm.
what you're doing. Those were empty.
Yes.
They were blank pages. How in
Mhm.
the world can you justify doing that? They tried to say it was because they rushed it out. Dude, come on. If you're making boxes and you're printing stuff, all that is throwing it into a computer program, printing it off, putting it in the box. They do this every day. It's not a big deal. And they
Yep.
didn't want anybody talking about that. Uh, But they, we were, and I always said the ruling came down from the Supreme Court at just the right time. They were going to use OSHA to punish companies, manufacturing companies. We were in that. We had taken we had done those things that we were required to do, temperature checks, mass separations and stuff. But nobody was forced to do anything outside of that. They were going to start making us, and if we didn't, a massive fine using the federal authority of OSHA. They were going to make us test everybody, if I remember right, twice a week or once a week. But you had 2 different shifts, so you had to get everybody. We didn't even have the manpower to do that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to be a part of having to be a part of somebody getting tested. So I don't know who they were going to hire to administer a test, or if they were expecting us to. We just kept hoping it would go away. We had pushed it as far as we could. And I'll never forget the day that ruling came down. It was like they had the information saved in a file. And as soon as that came down, it went out to the masses and said, the ruling has came down. We don't have to follow those protocols, and we're not going to. So it was like right on time.
The first school that I worked at that was me that said that, Watchman. I agree with what you just said. The first school I worked at down in Atlanta, or in Riverdale, when people started coming, when they let kids come back to school from COVID, they tested those kids every Friday. They had a company that came in, tested the kids and the teachers every Friday.
Yeah.
And the results didn't come back till Monday. And if it was positive, even though they were tested on Friday, if it came back positive on Monday, they were sent home for 5 days. Even though they were just home for 2.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing. They did it for 2 years.
Wow.
2 years. And we were still supposed to be wearing masks. I refused to wear a mask. I said, I'm not wearing one, and you can't make me. That is my constitutional right. If I want to wear one, or I don't.
And the masks were not going to do anything anyway, because most masks were not even legit masks.
Exactly.
And even if they were, there was no study on it. I heard all kinds of reports, but we don't know the long-term effects of even some of them, because were they even going to do that? But most people weren't even wearing a proper mask. They wore a rag over their face, something loosely hanging there with their nose hanging out, whatever. None of that was going to be effective anyway. So how about this? How about you went to a restaurant and you've got this deadly disease or infection or whatever, but you could take your mask down to take a bite?
I know.
What kind of stupidity is that? It's like, if you go into a restaurant and some guy had a sign that said infectious disease, and you were sitting there watching him take a bite and then put the bite, what are you going to think?
I thought, when if I went out to eat, I still didn't wear my mask. If they would say something to me, I would be like, I have a health concern. I'm not wearing one.
Bye, Miss Jen. Yes, I will.
Bye, Miss Jen.
And we hope to have you up on the show, because we're going to talk cats, dogs, whatever. Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break, refill the coffee cup. I have worse news, but potentially after the break. I know. It's just, I didn't intend to do this. It all started falling right before the show. So, watch me say I never wore a mask. I went to see my mother. A bandana. I said banana. I was like, what the? I got a banana. Smashed banana.
I think he meant a bandana.
Yeah, I think so. I love it though. Sometimes the misspelled words are the best ones. We're gonna take a quick break. When I come back, for all you people who enjoy something, and I know you do, there is bad news for you. We're going to talk about what that is, and we're going to see how many of you do this, and you're risking your risk. We'll get to it when we get back. I'm
You're
laughing.
very cryptic.
Well, it's got to be, but make sure you've ate your dinner before you come back. So
Good Lord.
we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, this is Rob and Dave from the Southern Fried Podcast. You know, we love lots of things here in the South. We love our country. We love our family. We love our God. We love some sweet tea on the front porch on Friday nights. But we're really near and dear and love us some coffee. That being said, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock on July the 14th, yes, we will have our coffee out there. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome, man. It's been a dream come true. We talked about this before we were ever a podcast, and we love these coffees. There's 40 plus blends. You'll find something that you like. And most people like coffee. If you don't, I can't help you, but most people like coffee, and there's a lot of coffee here. In fact, our morning show, we say get up, pray up, and coffee up, because we start our day with coffee, and now you can get some for you. Hey, we're very patriotic here. Get some for your veteran friends. You know what? Bless them. And the coffee mugs you see are representatives of logos that we've made. We've got more coming. We're going to put those on coffee mugs, and you'll see our SFP brand there, logo on each coffee. And these prices, Rob, we kept them as reasonable as we can. We cut that margin down because we know times are tough, and we want to help people and put coffee in their home and all of our listeners and followers' home. And I'm proud of this. So big kickoff, Rob. Excited about
Absolutely. And hey, y'all, there's no shipping cost on this either. You do not have to pay for shipping. It's already, everything's done. You just go with it. So the price you pay.
The QR code works. Just scan it. And and also off of our site, our coffee store, 2 or 3 of our social sites are also linked there. And you can find some of if you don't know where we're located, you can find us there. And come get some coffee. We got plenty. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Recently, me and Rob were able to go to Fresh Press Farms and do an interview, which we posted on all of our streams. We love these folks. They're amazing. And we are also customers of theirs. I've recently ordered my olive oil that we use in cooking to our home. We love that they're Georgia-based. We love that they're the only olive producer in the state of Georgia. And we love that they're making jobs here for Georgians in South Georgia. We want you to become a part of their family and use their products. They are the makers of homegrown cold-pressed cooking oils. Crafting oil like this means that they capture the best of the olive and the sunflower because they make that oil too. And they have other products that they have out there. It's an amazing company. They like to say freshness is never a question with Fresh Press Farms. They believe that what we put into our bodies should be minimally processed and actually improve our health and taste like the source. Locally produced and vertically integrated, they proudly grow, harvest, cold press, bottle, and distribute their oils in Georgia to ensure top-notch quality and a quick trip from Grove to Pranchy. Please go online and look up their website and order you some too. Support small business, support Georgia business, and we would appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon. All right, we are back, and we appreciate you hanging with us. I was going to catch up on the chat. Nancy Pelosi and some of those were called, hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got you, man. Barry, the best.
I know, that's hilarious. I sent him a laughing emoji.
I saw that. And most people wouldn't even wear the N95. They wouldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. And we can still take comments on this, but I do want to switch gears in the second half. There has been a study that has
afraid.
came out. What?
I'm afraid.
There's been a study that came out. If you're one of those people that sits on the toilet and plays on your phone, beware.
Oh, good. I don't.
So there are people who like to take their phone to the toilet and sit there for a long amount of time. There has been a study that has came out that said a quarter of those that do that, about a third of them actually, have run a real high. Actually, out of the case study, they developed hemorrhoids. So they say,
Oh my gosh. First of all, I have a question.
yeah,
Who
I
did this
think I know your
study?
question.
Who did this study? And
They
how
brought
did they
in
do it?
they brought in 125 people for the study, and that was their job, to go to the toilet and sit on it and play on their phone for, I think it was at least 10 minutes,
Okay.
if they had to do the number two. They had to do number two. So, well, I think, I don't know. I don't know that part. I'm just assuming. So they said the reason is that the longer you sit there, you're putting more pressure on, we'll just say, certain parts, and that causes the onset of hemorrhoids. The blood vessels and everything. There's things that happen, and
I know how people get hemorrhoids. I hope everybody else knows. If you've ever had a child, if you've ever pushed out a baby, you know about hemorrhoids. I will assure you, you know about hemorrhoids. If a woman has ever gave birth and that baby has came out down there, you know about hemorrhoids.
well, Michael, we got you, man. You just got to stay less than 10 minutes. So what they're saying is, they have a saying. Well, they some people call it the phone down thing, but basically they say don't take your phone to the bathroom.
And if you do, stay less than 10 minutes.
Stay less than 10 minutes because you're putting pressure on
Your sphincter muscles. I'll say it.
Which most and it is it. I better rob too much. It is not proven though. They didn't prove in the study if it will cause you to go across the floor like your dog does, rubbing their butt on the carpet.
Okay, well, look, let me ask you, let me ask. I want to know if they checked everybody's butthole, see if they had hemorrhoids already,
Well, I don't know that.
and did they check everybody's bum hole at the end? But
I don't know on that. also don't know how much these people were paid for the study.
I hope they were paid good.
They said most hemorrhoids can be treated by medication. However, some will develop the need for surgery. Those that are over the age of 55 are more susceptible.
That's very true, Michael.
You're
That
more
is just-
susceptible to the hemorrhoids than younger folks, but younger folks can still develop hemorrhoids.
Well, let me tell you something on the line of hemorrhoids. Okay, I'm gonna give everybody a piece.
I told
of
you the
advice.
show is going downhill.
I'm gonna give everybody a piece of advice. Okay,
Lord.
if you have hemorrhoids and the doctor says to you, I think we could, because you're gonna have to go see a surgeon for this. And the surgeon says, "Oh no, I think that we can get rid of those by banding."
By what?
Banding, banding. That means where they put a little bitty tight rubber band around that hemorrhoid.
There ain't none of that crap on the.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Because they're going to give you like a Valium or something to help calm you down. Mm-mm. No.
Watchman for you is a candidate.
Wait a minute. They lie. They say it's going to calm you down. You're not going to really feel anything. They lie. They lie.
So, what if they offer you a butt plug?
No. Have the surgery. At least you're unconscious.
I worked with a guy once. And if you happen to be listening, my friend, you killed me, man. This goes back 30 years ago. And I worked with a guy who was my coworker, and he had to go have this. Well, he had, I guess there's different types.
Yes, Michael, that was. The test subjects would say that.
Like, his was done in the office. So this guy.
What was?
His procedure on his hemorrhoids, whatever they did. So he gets a little too vocal about it at the job site, like TMI. And we finally told him we don't want to hear no more. So the guy'd been out for like a couple of weeks or something, you know. He comes back, we're like, "Where you been, man?" "Oh man, I had to have hemorrhoid surgery." And so he's talking about this doctor, and he had him bend over some sort of a device where he's hanging on and his butt's up in the air. And he says that doctor is sitting there working. And I was like, "Stop. I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear another word about it. I'm done." There's just some things I don't need to know about.
There you go. I can get some bands like that on the farm. No. Mm-mm.
I've never heard of it. I don't want to experience.
You don't.
So,
you don't.
So if you have someone in your family that somebody called it the throne. I always call my son, my oldest son, he like camps out. And I call him King Farouk when he does that. I'll say, "Where's my son?" And I'll just point towards the bathroom. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, King Farouk is on his throne again." And he'll sit in the toilet for 45 minutes at a time. I'm like, dude, it's time to cut your losses, man. I mean, if you can't do business faster than that, you've got some kind of a health problem.
You need something to get everything going
So
and get
a
it on.
lot of people commenting about this said that that's part of the reason why they're getting hemorrhoids is because they're sitting there too long, and they've been done for a while, but they've not cleaned themselves up, and they're just causing all kinds of bacteria and stuff. I don't know. So they say it's your blood vessels being put under pressure that opens things up. Others said it was the bacteria that's just there. And it's like, get a move on.
Okay.
So,
I'd have to disagree. I'd have to disagree.
Disagree on what?
What causes hemorrhoids?
Oh, okay.
Because I guarantee you it was a bunch of men doing this study.
They didn't say.
I guarantee it. Was this our topic tonight?
No, it wasn't our topic, but it just sort of dropped right before the show.
What was our topic?
I don't even remember now. I think it was. I'm putting. Well, I have these pictures I'm going to put up, and you're going to tell me the whoever can do it is to tell what their band name would be. What their band name would be. And I'll try to pop up a couple before we get off here if I can.
Okay.
But but what's funny about this is I saw this story while I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think we need to change the subject. I think we need to change the subject.
I mean, there's just stuff going on out there. You got to be careful, So you say you don't even take your phone to the bathroom?
No. I'll take it in the bathroom, but like I lay it on the bathroom counter. I don't even take it to the toilet with me.
Yeah.
So Michael agrees. We need to change the subject.
Well, there's just all that we got to give people a caution, to be careful. We don't want people to be watching the podcast on the toilet and end up, needing medical services.
Don't sit on the toilet so long that your legs go numb.
Well, for some people, that don't take that long. But then the problem is if you do, it's hard to get up.
That means you've sat there too long.
So that would be the next question. How many have sat on the toilet long enough that one of their legs, one or both, has went to sleep, as they say? Which I don't know why it's called that, but they definitely say that. So how many have done that? Rob will be sad he missed this.
Yes, he will. I agree, Michael. I've never had my legs numb.
Well, that's good.
I go in, I do my business, and I leave.
How many people refuse to use the restroom out in the public? You wait till you get home.
Oh, I can't do that.
I know people that do that.
I know people that do that.
They say, I'm not doing it.
I can't. I'll either pee on myself or I'll the other.
I mean, I'm thinking that there's people that or here's you one.
Mm-mm.
How many people won't use the restroom in the stall if somebody else is in the bathroom?
I don't care.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that.
Listen, Crohn's disease does not let you care about
That's
any of
true.
that. It does not let you care. And when your belly is saying, girl, go find a bathroom, you got to go find a bathroom.
So I knew this person once, and they said they were talking to another person. They weren't telling me, and they said, they needed to go to the restroom, and the lady said, "Well, go." And she said, "Oh, I went. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Why? It was full." No, there was one other person in there. And she said, "Well, why didn't you use the restroom?" She said, "I didn't want to stink the place up."
Girl,
And
that's your problem.
her response was, "Poop stinks. Go do your business."
Everybody.
I like that you called it a squirt gun.
I know. Everybody don't crack rainbows and butterflies.
I've told this story once. I had to go to the bathroom really bad. I was at a food line, and it's back in the back, but you can go back there.
Mm-hmm.
When I went in, it's one of those. If I hadn't had to go like really bad, I wouldn't have went. It smelled horrible, like somebody died. There was
Mm-hmm.
nobody in there. They've just left. So I'm sitting here thinking, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be in here, and somebody's going to come in. They're going to think it's me. So I use the restroom. I wash my hands. I'm going out the door, and one of the workers is coming in, and I'm thinking, oh man. When I say bad, it would make you want to vomit. It was bad. And I was thinking, oh man, this guy's forever going to link me with that. And
I would have said, I didn't do that smell. Somebody before me did.
then it makes you look like
suffer through it. You better believe I would have said that.
I worked with a guy one time. He said he was in the stalls. Pretty rough go of it. And he said a guy come in and said, my God. He said, are you alive over there? The guy said, yeah, I'm alive. He said, you stink. He said, you ought to be over here in the stall with it. The guy said, no way. I'm out.
Have you ever seen the bottles of, it's called Poopery?
I've heard of it.
They make travel size bottles of that.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to carry some of that. Spray it in the toilet before you go.
There's no joke about that. I have to clean it up a little bit. Red Fox. He said he was in a hotel, and there was a lady cleaning the rooms, and she was going down the next level, and she had to pass gas really bad, and it apparently was really, really bad. And so she had this stuff, and it was called pine tree scent. So she sprays this pine tree stuff all in the elevator. And Red Fox, God bless him, he was as dirty mouthed as the day is long.
I know.
But he walked in the door, so I'm cleaning it up a little bit. So he walks in the door, and he's like, man, it smells like somebody crapped a Christmas tree in here. Of course, he didn't say that. Oh, yes, that is good. That's good, solid advice. Yes, clean the seat.
But you know what? There's been studies done. The toilet seat is the cleanest part of the bathroom.
Man, that's hard to believe.
You know
Woo!
why? Because your butt is the only thing that sits on it. Your butt is covered up all day long. It don't touch nothing else. The handle that you use to flush the toilet is one of the dirtiest things.
I
The
don't know,
hand
Rob. I got to believe Rob scratches his butt while he's cooking, So when he goes to the bathroom, I'm thinking there's all kind of. I don't know. I'm just saying
he might. I when when I'm drying my hands and I get my paper, I always use that to open the door because
Yeah,
not everybody washes their hands.
I have read that.
No, yes,
Just blowing germs
yes,
around.
it does.
I think that handles they're the thing that ick me out the most. Handles,
Yes,
because there are people who won't wash their hands and
mm-hmm.
they've grabbed the handle. So
I
that's like
use
gas pumps. Gas
yeah,
pumps are really bad to pass along sickness.
mm-hmm.
Everybody's touching that handle. You don't ever know. So it's good to try to do something to clean your hands
Yes.
when you're around that. While we're on this subject and it's going downhill fast, did you did you see the nurses? Well, one was fired, and the rest of the crew are on administrative leave while they investigate the incident. This girl or these girls, this is disgusting, and you got to have some tact about the job you're doing. I think it was. I don't remember what kind of a clinic it was, so I don't know if it was male and female, mainly female. I don't know, but trying to be tactful here. But when you're being examined in these doctors' offices or
Mhm.
whatever the thing is, sometimes body fluids are going to be left behind. It
Yes.
just happens. What they did is they started mocking it. So they would like mock the spots that were left behind, and they were doing dances around it, shaking their butts and everything, and doing. I don't know which social media site. I think I remember, but I'm not going to say because I don't know for sure. They were putting these up on the social
Mm.
medias, and so people that had been there, they started seeing these, which would be offensive. I mean,
Yes.
you just throw it away. I mean, it's just life. And they fired the one girl. She was actually trying to delete comments off of her videos when they got wind of this and looked into it. But she has lost her job as a medical professional for mocking, you know, their the people come in. So, you it's just the world we live in, and you know, there's a ton of these stories around the country where people that were under the effects of some sort of a gas or something, so they would
Mhm.
sleep through a procedure. They've mocked the patient and got that on
Yeah.
video, and they put this stuff out there like it's funny. It's stupid. That's a violation of an oath that you take. You should never be sharing anything that goes on behind those consultations, those treatment rooms, and all that.
Mhm.
And I just don't understand what gets in a person that thinks that that's okay. That's sick.
Oh, I agree. I
That
agree.
should be. That has always been to be a protected area and respect. And things happen. People are sick. They've got a lot of things going on. Yes, you're right, and I remember
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So it makes me wonder. I will admit, when I walk into a place, I kind of scope it out for cameras because I just don't trust some people to make sure that because you can do them very small,
Mhm.
but if you're really looking, you can spot them. And
Well, and I try to look and see how many of the nurses and the staff have their phones out,
yeah,
because if they're doing their job, they shouldn't be having their phones out. I
no,
understand that people have children and that they have responsibilities, but if you know where your child is during the day, you can leave your phone in your purse if it's sitting there on the floor under your desk or
yeah,
next to you. They should have your work number if they're at school or if they're at daycare.
yeah. I mean, there's
Call.
always a way to do
There
that.
is.
Well, I told you when I was in court here a while back for my son, I was amazed at how many court staffers were playing on their phones. Bailiffs, other court personnel, just doing the old scroll. They weren't doing business. They weren't texting to say bring in the next prisoner. They were just playing games and stuff. You could see that. Now the judge never did. The district attorney never did, but other support staff definitely did. And I have a problem with that. I really do.
Yes.
Uh, that's not good. That's not good. They shouldn't be doing that.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, and there was a doctor that was doing plastic surgery, and they did all these videos with the patient in the scene. Stupid. That also extends to all law enforcement who took pictures and shared them of violent wrecks and other things that they saw and moved these things around. And there's been a lot of them have gotten in trouble for that too.
Yes.
You
Hi,
know,
Jake.
hello, Jake. What was that song all them years ago? Feed Jake. Wasn't that a Travis Tritt song or something? Wasn't that what it was called? Feed
Oh,
Jake or something?
I don't know.
Somebody help me. You got yours. If we're suckers for songs with dogs and stuff and cats.
It's like common sense has went out of the window for a lot of people.
Yeah, they're full on crazy.
Hmm.
Full on crazy.
That's why I said they should have took all the warnings. Don't put warnings on things. That's how stupid gets eliminated.
And the more that they have, the more that they have tried to make it safer, in some ways they've made it more unsafe for protection of your private information. In some cases,
Um, and Jake, my grandkids are too little we don't let them get on anything like that. They're still too little.
a lot of the kids that I knew were playing Roblox. They've moved past that stage. They're more into just watching dance videos or things that involve teenagers and stuff. So a lot of them like to watch the cheerleading and stuff because some of them are in cheer and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, but there was a time when a bunch of them were playing because I remember them talking about it. They were all friends, so they were all in Roblox. But it's a big now. Roblox is huge. That's one of the biggest. When you look at the numbers, like Fortnite's huge, but when you look at the numbers, Roblox is way up the list. They have a lot of people that are involved in playing that. That's a big platform. Absolutely. Um, yeah, that's just horrible. Yes. Oh yeah, like jumping out of the car and dancing down the road. How dumb. Well, that was like the whole planking thing. When they would surf like on top of a car, or people were getting hurt and killed doing stupid stuff like
Yes.
that. I always tell my kids, don't be a follower. Just because some other dummy does it doesn't mean you got to do it. You know.
Hmm. I would always tell the kids that I taught, you were born to lead, not to follow. If somebody says to you, hey, let's bully this kid, or let's bully that kid, or come over here and play with me and don't be friends with any of these people. Why do you have to
Yeah.
listen to them? What if they told you to walk out in the road and start playing in the road, and
Yeah.
there's traffic in the road? I said, are you going to listen to them then, just because they're your friend? No, you're not. I said, so don't listen to people that tell you to do things that you know that are bad.
I got to admit, as long as they don't get hurt, I have enjoyed watching the videos of the people that get in the intersections and they're doing the burnouts and causing people not to be able to get home. And they end up getting out of control and smacking their nice sports car on the side of a telephone pole or something and breaking the axle. As long as they're not hurt, I'm in that all day. Make some more videos, buddy. I mean, 40, 50, $60,000 cars trashed because they want to play games. They get out. The first time I saw that, I was guarding a property on Shaliford Road here in town, and I saw a couple of young guys do that, just burn out, crazy. And that's a busy highway. Even at night, it's a busy highway. Crazy.
Stupid is as stupid does.
In saying that, I did some stupid things as I was growing up. So
Everybody does.
I think
But
that it's just a part of life. You've got to be really careful. I was always the friend that tried to keep my other friends out of a lot of trouble. So I was tried to be
mm,
the voice of reason. I wasn't perfect, but I tried to get people not to do the crazy. I would say, think
yes,
about it, think about it. And usually my friends, when they got in trouble or they trashed their cars, they were not, I wasn't around. They were around other idiots and went, hey, sounds like a
hmm
great idea. Let's go drive fast, get drunk, and just go crazy, as Prince sang about. Let's go crazy. And they all
yep,
went to jail, smashed the car, and all that. I did have my moment when I lost my sanity for a while, for a night, and I'm not a hypocrite. I did it, and I was older actually. I should have been more. I was 20. I say older. I was 20, 22, 22. They say girls mature faster than guys. I don't know, but I believe it because my wife was certainly more mature than I was. But she was a little older than me too. So when I was 22, she would have been almost 26. She had
mm,
a lot more maturity than I
yeah.
did.
There are groomers and pedophiles everywhere online,
Yeah.
and if parents are not constantly watching what these kids are doing, um, these groomers and these sickos and these pedophiles are going to get a hold of them very quickly and very easily.
And parents need to stay up to date on the code words because they use a lot of code words in texting.
Hmm.
And so the sexting and all that, they do everything in code. And if you just read it, you might not know what that means, what they're telling them to do.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
I'm really proud of my granddaughter, and I hope to nurture her through. We're trying very hard. She's a good girl. Um, but she told me she was at a function. She told me that a guy came up and said, "You're cute. I'd like for us to be boyfriend and girlfriend or something like that." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever." And she's a toughie. And she said, "You know what, Papa? 5 minutes later, he was rubbing all over some girl." I said, "Yep, there you go.
Hmm.
There you go."
So I have something I want to ask y'all,
All
and I
right.
want I want some honest opinion, some honest feedback and some honest opinions. Um, my niece went out of town this weekend to a women's retreat, and I was supposed to. She and I had made plans the whole week that I was going to keep her girls. Well, her husband and I don't get along. We never have since day one. I don't like him. He don't like me.
It happens.
And her daughter-in-law, he was supposed to pick up the girls after he got off work Friday night and bring them to Food Line in Varnell for me to get. Okay. Pick them up.
Yeah.
So his daughter-in-law calls me Friday evening and says that her daughter is having her first cheerleading game Saturday morning. And the coach asked if my oldest great niece could be there to help out because she's been helping the little team with some cheers. One game she helped with one practice. I mean, she helped with one practice. And I said, well, I don't mind if somebody can get in touch with my niece and let her know that there's been a change. Because we'd worked hard all week trying to get some things together for me to do with the girls. The girls didn't even make it over to my house until last night. And that was because my niece got back home yesterday, and she's the one that ended up bringing them to over to Food Line because her husband didn't want to bring them. The niece didn't. The daughter-in-law didn't want to bring them because we don't get along either. And that's a whole nother story there. And so, because I keep the girls every Monday for my niece, and I told the girls today. I said, listen, when your mother works hard to get plans together, you should not ever go, be put in a situation where you are having to make decisions of trying to say, okay, yeah, I'll do this, or okay, I won't, because you're just kids.
Yeah.
Because they're in fourth grade and third grade.
Oh, wow.
And yes, I said, if an adult asks you, like the daughter-in-law asked her, the fourth grader said, well, the coach really wants you to come and help out at the cheer game, help out with the little girls. That wasn't her responsibility.
No, there's always people that will drag your time off of you. They'll find busy work for you.
Yes. She's a child. That's not a child's job to watch little girls. These little kids were in first grade. I don't know how many is on the cheer team, but that's not a child's, even if she is in fourth grade, that's not a child's job to do.
Yeah.
And, was I in the wrong for saying anything to them? And reminding them, when plans have been made, you need to say, my mom made these plans and I need to stick to these plans.
Well, absolutely. I think unless there's a family emergency medical something going on, because there's expenses, there's plans, that's time, and they need to learn that's important. It's sacred and needs to be treated that way. I've been down that road. I tried to always make the granddaughter available for functions and stuff, but sometimes there's just things that are planned. There's just things that are like going to church. I mean, everybody will make plans during church that don't go to church. And I've let her. I'm not a hard case. There's been times I've let her go do some things because some of it's out of town. But I've held the line many times and said, no, it's a church day, and it's important. It's just as important, and more so than anything else you're doing. So, no, I don't think that's wrong. That's time, and any time that's taken away from that time, it's time you'll never get back. And you're teaching the children it's okay to blow people off. Like,
Yes.
No,
and I told the girl today, I said, your mother and I had made plans for me to take you to the apple orchard yesterday or Saturday.
Yeah.
to pick apples, to get apples for your mom to make homemade apple butter. And, I had a whole day planned for y'all Saturday. And
Yeah.
then that changed, late Friday evening, that changed my whole that whole evening or that whole day Saturday. And so I said, not only was it disrespectful to me, to your mother, it was disrespectful to you girls,
Yeah.
because then that, you know, put y'all in a situation to where it should never have put y'all in a situation.
Well, I'm a big believer of the cats in the cradle song. And if you train those kids up like that, they'll do it to their kids, and they'll teach
Yes.
their kids to do it. And you got to teach kids there's some things that are important, more important than anything else, except in, like I said, cases of sickness and whatever
Mm,
else. There can be life emergencies that happen, but as often as and as close as we can, we need to stick to things that are planned, because people go to great time and expense and trouble to make things happen, and it's just not right.
yeah.
No, no, I'd agree with you on that. I've been on
Okay.
both sides of it, and the problem is it's hard to deal with people you don't get along with or don't care for, because it can easily become the children can easily become the tool to get back,
Yeah.
to and it happens every day in America, and it's sick. And they use the tools as a weapon,
Mhm.
to get their way or to punish people because they don't like them or whatever. And they make it sound all innocent and everything, but I it's just important that we teach kids the importance of, they watch us. I mean, they're like sponges anyway.
Mhm.
You teach them the importance of something, they'll more likely stick to it when they're grown, keeping your word, being respectful, helping others, whatever it is. I mean, we've probably all had to do stuff as kids we really didn't want to do, but that's what
Mhm.
was expected. And my dad would say, "Boy, go." There was no discussion. My boys one time they wanted to have a discussion with me about something, and my youngest son wanted blue hair. Blue hair.
Oh.
It was school. Somebody at school dyed their hair blue, so he was always a little radical, a little rebel. So he wanted blue hair. And then the other boy, he wanted baggy pants because everybody was baggy pants. I battled that. So I sat down, I said, "Oh, okay, family discussion. Okay." I said, "Am I going first? Or you going first?" Well, we'll go first because we want to tell you our plans here and make sure that we can assure you that it's okay. And so my youngest son, he was always the talker, so he's talking. Oldest son's just going with it. Look at him like, "Yeah, this sounds good." So I'm listening to it. So I said, like you do in any discussion, I say, "Oh, so let me clarify this." So I repeat it back to them. You want to have blue hair, and these are the reasons why you think you should have blue hair, and you want to do baggy pants because there's the reason. So am I clear? Is that what we want? Yeah, that's it, Dad. That's it. So are we good? Can we do that? I said, absolutely not. Discussion over, meeting over, or meeting adjourned. That gets you butts and go clean up your room or something. And my
Mhm.
youngest son, he's like, "Dad, that's not right." I said, when you're the king, I've always said this, when you're the king of your kingdom,
Mhm.
you make the rules. I'm the king of this kingdom, and I
Mhm.
will make the rules. Now, as often as I can, I try to give them leeway to have, I'm not rigid like that, but on things that I just absolutely was dead set against, I said no. And I didn't seek opinions from other parents. It was my decisions,
Yeah.
because other parents might go, "Well, ain't nothing wrong with having blue hair." Well, okay, that's fine. Then tell your kids to dye their hair blue, green, gold, whatever. I don't care. These are my
Mhm.
rules, and that's the way it is. So I
Yeah.
taught my kids early on it's not a discussion. But however, I wanted them to learn how to negotiate because that's an important skill to have. So I
Mhm.
would say, no, the rules of the house are this, and my rules are this. And so, no, you made a fine argument, but it's still no. And you have to learn that in
Mhm.
life. Just because you make the argument doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it.
Right.
And you have to learn that. You're going to be rejected more than accepted upon ideas you have in your life And I wanted them to understand that. They didn't like
Mm.
it, but I think they got the message. And as I watched them grow and become young men, and my oldest son is nearly 40 now, it's fun to watch how influences I've had come out of their mouths,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And, my one son doesn't have kids, the other one has two, and they're good kids. They're like any kids, they get in a little trouble here and there. At least one of them does. Dog tag.
I know.
Dog tag says, "Amen." No colored hair in dog tag's house. And by the way, congratulations on the 2,000-mile marker. I saw that on
Yeah.
Facebook. Great job. And he's
Thursday.
only got
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So I was teaching him also, you don't do things just because other people do it. What's
Yeah.
the presentation you want for the world? I was very strong on them about how that because they would pick up slang words. Like they would call girls chicks. They come on and sit down. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. What did you just say? And my youngest son, he's like, chick? Yeah, don't never let me hear that again. I never want to hear that again. You're not going to talk about females that way. You want to grow up and get married one day. You're not going to put them down with these slang words. You're going to treat them with respect. And don't get mad at me, folks, when I say this, but I was a no tattoo guy. I didn't want any tattoos on my kids. They didn't do it. One of them still has it. One, when he got older, he did. And he come and showed it to me. And I said, is that fake or real? He said, oh, it's real. I said, okay. What do you want out of me? I just want you to see it. I said, why? Well, I said, are you asking my opinion? Do I like it? You know my answer. I don't need to see it no more. And that's me. I just didn't want that. I was taking a high schooler to school this morning, and I said, just advice, don't color your body all up with tattoos. Don't do it. You're a wonderful, beautiful young lady. You don't need that. You don't need all that stuff. So she said, do you have tattoos? I said, no. Does grandmother? No. So, but again, I'm not saying that to make anybody mad. What I'm saying is that your house, you make the rules, whatever those rules are. It's not for me to tell you how to run your house. It's not. It's not for you to tell me how to run mine. Of course, as a Christian, I'm seeking the answers from the Bible and prayer, and because sometimes you're getting faced with things, and it's always what would be the right thing here or the wrong thing. I believe in having a heck of a lot of fun. I do. I had we had a home that was full of laughter and good times, and my mom was like that. My dad had a great sense of humor. We were not sitting around, stiff as a board. We were a family that had fun and knew how to have fun. Along the way, there were things that I felt very strongly about. And also, you've heard me say me a lot. Those were also discussions with my wife. So don't think I just didn't include her. I just don't talk about her much on here. But, but those are discussions that we had. And we would come to an agreement on where we were at with that. And always my wife absolutely let me lead in that. And the kids were always told to come to their daddy. Go talk to your daddy. Go talk to your daddy. Go talk to your daddy. Because he's, you need to talk to him. And we always, we made it. We didn't grow up. My kids didn't grow up hating me or despising me or anything like that. I remember one time, I will say this, involving my granddaughter. When we first got her, there were a lot of rules placed on us. A lot of rules. We were under emergency guardianship. And a lot of people did not like the rules that were given. However, I did not have a choice. I had to follow those rules to make sure that we could keep her. Yeah. And my son told me offline, like he didn't say it in front of them, but he said, Dad, I told them about the rules, and they said that you were being too strict and that you could bend the rules. And he said, my words to them were this: you should have never picked that guy. Because I was asked if anything ever happened, would you take the child? He said, you should have never picked my dad. Because if there's one thing I can tell you about my dad, he will follow the rules. And we did. And they got so mad at me. But I said, listen, the child comes first. I said this the other night on a podcast.
Mhm.
The child comes first. I could care less about your feelings. It's the child. My job is to protect the child. I can't
Yes.
take feelings into consideration. So some of the rules were only certain people could be alone with a child. Well, of course, you know, and these rules were set by a state agency.
Mhm.
Nobody could just take off with a kid. I had to be present in the room. And we tried to do visitations as often as we did, every day, really. Um, and sometimes they didn't want the visitation. They just didn't. They had other things they wanted to do. So, but I followed the rules. And yeah, dog tag, your house, your rules. And when I go to somebody's house, I don't question their rules. I just find out really quickly where they're at with the rules. You know,
Mhm.
by the way, I don't go in looking to break rules. So I don't
Right.
go in. I mean, there's unwritten rules you don't do in somebody's house anyway. You know, you shouldn't be sitting there criticizing their choices in colors or how they,
Mhm.
dressed up their home. You shouldn't be telling them how to treat, how let their kid. Well, let the kid go to the movies. That's not your job. It's not your
No.
job to question it. You shouldn't be ruffling through the bedrooms, looking through drawers. There are people
Mm-mm.
that do that crap. They will
Just
go
go through
and
their medicine cabinets. You
it's a
shouldn't be
good way
doing
to
none
get
of that.
kicked out. See ya.
Yes.
Just you're done. You're out of here. I had a guy one time. I had hung some posters on my bedroom wall and ceiling, and this guy come in. And he goes, "That's stupid." I said, "What? What did you just say?" He goes, "Oh, the posters. That's stupid." I said, "Well, it's none of your business.
That's right.
I really don't care." And he goes, "Well, I just think it's stupid." I said, "That's the second time you've said that. Say it a third time, and I'm bouncing you out of here." And he looked at his friend that brought him. I didn't know the guy. I knew the guy that brought him. He said, "Dude, you need to shut your mouth. We're guests in his home. You have no right to come in and say anything negative to him." And he said, "Matter of fact, just keep your mouth shut. I'll never." And he told me, he said, "I'll apologize. I will never bring him back to your home." I said, "That's probably a good thing because he's about 20 seconds from me grabbing him up and throwing him out the front door." And he said, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "The guy that's fixing to pick you up and throw you out the door." You got to be king of your kingdom. You cannot let people come in and push you around
Exactly.
like that. And I don't
Mhm.
think Miss Elizabeth has any problem doing that. I don't think that Barry did. I don't think that Watchman for you. I don't. I don't think that. I know Michael didn't have any problem doing that. I'm sure Miss Jen don't have a problem with telling people how it's going to be. And I'm sure that Dog Tag knows how to run his home and not let somebody come in and raffle his family up or put them down or make them cry or whatever. Who these people are that think they can do that? And
Yeah.
Dog Tag is a very successful father, many children, adopted kids. He's obviously doing something right. So I would value his wisdom. I might ask his opinion on something. Sure, that's wisdom. But to come in and tell somebody, "Hey, you're stupid for doing that," or "Why are you doing that?" or "Why do you have that rule?" That's dumb. It's like curfews. What was your curfew, Miss Elizabeth, when you were growing up? Did you have one when
I
you were
didn't.
a teenager? Some did, some didn't.
I set my own curfew,
So what was your curfew?
and I set my curfew for 11:30.
11:30.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe him too. Uh, so my during the school time, my dad was bedtime was I think 9 o'clock if I remember. 9 o'clock was always during the school week. Weekends or when there was no school, I didn't have one. I could stay up all night long if I wanted to. Now to be out, yeah, I had to be in by a certain time. But at home, I
Now,
wasn't even told to go to bed unless it was a
I
school
didn't.
night.
I didn't go out during the week.
Yeah,
I stayed home during the week because of it being school week. During the school and everything. But you know, I was usually, if I was outside or whatever with friends, I was always back in by dinner time
yeah,
because you had to get you ate, you got your bath or shower, and you got ready for bed.
that's it.
And Friday.
Friday and Saturday, we went, me and my friends went out, or I had a date or whatever, it was always 11:30. And if something came up and I was going to be late, I always call mom and daddy. Hey,
Yeah.
something came up, I'm going to be about 30 minutes late. All right, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah. These are rules that are good to live by. My dad, my mom and dad divorced. I never let my sisters go on a date and come back and sit in the car. Always got out, come inside, be respectful to my mama.
Yeah.
And I tried to do that in funny ways or whatever. My baby sister, we love each other, but she would get so mad at me. But I just never, you know what? I'm sure some of those guys thought I was the biggest jerk ever, but you know what? When you already are violating what is pretty decent, I mean, you're not being decent to do that. I took that as big disrespect to my mom, and I would let these guys know. Break it once, we explain it to you. Break it again, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, Bob. And you can hate it, you can hate me. I really don't care. My job is again, protect the kids.
Yeah.
In this case, my baby sisters who were teenagers or at the different times because they had an age gap too. But you do that. I remember my son. He was in high school. And these two girls were coming by. They were all going somewhere. So the girls driving. It was actually three girls. I said, wow, son, three girls are picking you up. What the heck? But they all knew each other. And they were going to somebody else's function. And this girl that was driving, she was a little dingy, like just laughing, giggling, whatever. And I was trying to have a normal conversation with her about, because I said, who's driving? Because when I walked outside, I didn't see who was driving. She said, that would be me, acting all goofy. And I said, are you a drinker? And my son was like, Dad, don't embarrass me. I said, oh, we ain't even got started yet. And I said, are you a drinker? She said, well, what if I am? I said, well, then he won't go. And she said, well, just because I drink, what would that matter? I said, because if you're a drinker, you're liable to drink and drive. And me and her got off on a bad foot. And I told her, because she said, look, I'm not going to drink and drive. We're just going to have a good time. What's a big deal? The girls that were with her told her to shut up and basically listen, that she's being disrespectful. And I told her this. I said, let me tell you something. Whether you know it or not, I'm going to explain it in a way that you really get this. You are carrying precious cargo tonight. She goes, cargo? I said, yes, cargo. I said, the most precious cargo that I'll ever have in my life. I said, that's my son. And I expect my son to come back. It's like I'm shipping him away, or you're like the carrier and you're carrying him away. I expect him to come back uninjured. I don't want to hear, I don't want y'all to end up in a hospital because you're speeding or doing stupid stuff. I said, I am holding you, the driver, responsible. I want a phone number. I want your parents' phone number. And if you're not back by that time, I'm going to start making phone calls. And I want the address of where you're going to be. You're carrying precious cargo, and I will not allow that cargo to be injured in any way. And I said, I would hope that your parents feel the same way about you. And I said, you other girls, I hope that your parents feel the same way about you. And we got her done. He got to go, but she got a little more respectful.
That's good.
And my son told me later, she was like, what's his problem? He said, that's my dad. He cares about his kids, Dang right. So let's see. Let's get Jen's in. We're about out of time here, but let's see. I had a curfew 10, then 11, then 12. I always tried to be home by 12. After I got older, like 30 for respect. Sometimes it would be 12:30 because I would be coming home from Tennessee. Well, yeah, even as hey, listen, I know parents, don't matter how old you are, they lock the doors at a certain time. And if you're not there by that time, you better find you a hotel because they're not opening the door. That's how they're strict like that. I know people.
Yeah.
Doors locked. We're not getting out of bed.
Well,
Now,
some my dad was the type of dad that if the guy didn't come to the door to get you, you didn't go on a date
absolutely.
because that
Absolutely.
was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. Like my guy came to get one of my sisters one time. This was even before I was born, and he honked for my sister to come out.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Uh, he went out. He said, "Son, I don't know who you honking for, but there ain't nobody here for you to honk for. If you're here to pick somebody up, you be a gentleman and you come to the door and you knock
Absolutely.
because they don't nobody come and get in a car for you to honk at."
That's right. That's right.
And my
Well,
dad turned around and went back in.
yeah. We got to teach, that's the thing. And I always tried to tell my kids, listen, when you get older and you have kids, I want you to remember all this. I want you to remember, you will understand what I'm talking about later on.
Mhm.
When you have teenage daughters, which he has now, one's 17, one's 15. I said, when you have those, and you're gonna feel that pressure in your heart. There's times your gut's gonna be flipping because
Mhm.
you're worried about your kids. I said, you'll remember everything I've said. And good night, Jen.
Hi, Miss Janice. Good night.
And Mrs. E, the britches better be pulled up.
Ooh, honey.
Amen to that. It's a great discussion. We've had a wide ranging of topics tonight, from kissing bugs, deadly bugs, to sitting on the toilet too long, reading your
Hemorrhoids.
phones and getting hemorrhoids, to curfews, dates, blue hair, and I don't remember what else, a bunch of stuff. So it was a wide ranging, you have to watch the whole show to kind of get it all, which is good. Dog Tag, will you be available Wednesday night to come up? You have an open invitation. You don't even have to answer. I'll send you an
Yeah.
invite. If you can't make it, we'll do it another time. But you're in the home stretch here. That's the night before the big day. If you have time for us, brother, you come up Wednesday night. We'll have a good time talking about that.
Oh, did he
It
not
deserves
finish
to be.
last week?
Huh? You
Did he
broke up
not
a little bit.
finish last week?
I think it's
Did
the
he
11th,
not finish last week?
September 11th, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I thought he
think.
finished last week.
Well, maybe he did, but I thought it was going to be,
No, yeah, I think it is.
no, sir, right, not before. We'll not have signal. Okay. The night before that.
Okay,
Yes,
it
not
is
11.
the 11th. Yes.
Okay.
You're right.
Well, okay. We'll get a wrap up on that when after you're done. And feel free to send us any pictures you want. We'll make sure they're on the screen. Let's do a wrap up of that. So that's a great
Yes.
accomplishment.
I'm so
We'll
excited.
revisit. Yeah, Friday be great. Front porch. That'd be perfect. I don't think we have a guest. You are a guest. Come on up and let's talk about the AT, the dog, the tags, everything about it. That will make for a great show. So Rob will be back Wednesday morning and Wednesday night. We'll have Cornbread Nation Thursday night at 8. Don't forget, tomorrow I am going to be doing an interview with James from Empty Pockets Podcast about America First, patriotism, basically a discussion about America. This is a new series. It's going to be me interviewing lots of people from all different walks of life, and anybody's welcome. Pet show tomorrow night, planning on around, what I say, 8 o'clock. Southern Claws and Paws. So or Paws and Claws. You can switch that around. It really doesn't matter. It works.
I know.
And we're going to talk pets. And y'all come with questions. Y'all come with topics. I've got 2 or 3, and the time will fly by. And Cook, if you're still out there somewhere, come and talk about your cat. I know you mentioned that. I think it's a cat he lost. I'm not sure. I think he wants to talk about. I think. And lots more going on with the Southern Fried ongoing. So we got lots of things we're working on. Real excited that we got studio back up, and it looks good on Pickaxe. I'm just flipping over right now, and that looks good. That's a new option for us, and that is cool. Miss Elizabeth, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And Wednesday night, we're also going to get Rob to talk about his trip, and he can tell you what happened. I'm going to let him cover that. We did have an incident. I just want you to pray for him on that. That's the only thing I'm going to say. And then he can tell you what happened. So he's got a story to tell, but he'll be back Wednesday morning for the morning show. I'm sure he'll do a noon show, and then we'll do Hump Day views. Let me get that straight, views, and the Southern Fried vent. I've got some vents lined up too, between the hours of 8 to 10. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get some rest. This cool weather is nice, and fall is in the air. So the time changes when, folks? I heard it's a little earlier this year. When does the time change? Does anybody remember? We got to look that up. We come back when you let people know. I hear it's changing a little earlier this year. So, all right, we'll go up with some music, and let's get this Mama Said on there. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Mama said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start to show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name